make or miss league.
It's a make or miss league.
Make or miss.
It's a make or miss league.
Make or miss.
It's a make or miss.
It's a make or miss league.
Make collabs. Apparently, KD and LeBron collaborating on a secret rap song during the 2011 lockout. Vince, you want to hear this? Do you not want the world to hear this?
Hear it.
You do.
Hear it. I do.
Keep this underground.
I want to hear it.
Keep it way on the
Keep it
ground.
way underground.
I want to hear it.
Vince wants to hear it so he can play it at games when he's playing against these guys next year.
I just want to see where they stand.
Make the Drew. Here's Baron Davis. He's out in Drew getting buckets. Check out the hesitation
My man
move.
BD still got the moves, baby. I can't wait to see you in the 3-on-3, baby.
I love it.
This will be fun this summer. I'm looking forward to this 3-on-3 league.
I mean, like,
Oh, look at it. He still got it.
that's the old.
Might as well make a comeback.
Might as well.
Let's do it. Somebody sign him up in camp. Look at him. He still got the dimes and everything. Look at that.
Sees everything.
Boom. Miss work. Lonzo Ball says he spent, quote, 3 to 4 hours designing his Big Baller brand shoe.
That's it?
Shoe costs $495. You think maybe a little more time in the lab?
A little more time.
My first time
We're
really
gonna
seeing
charge $500. Let's put them back in production, baby.
I mean, you know, if it works, it works. What can I tell you? Make insults. Take a listen here.
Tony, excuse me. When I found out Tony was going to be officiating the game, I was like, man, I'm glad I'm not coaching tonight. What now? What's that look for? That's the same look he gave me tonight.
Yeah, his face, he did not take that joke at all. This is just after Evan Turner, remember, sent out those tweets saying that, you know, the Tony Brothers game was everyone's in trouble. Then, of course, he said he was hacked, because why wouldn't he? I mean,
He wasn't hacked. No. He just don't want to get, he just don't want to get fined.
You say that.
Look at Mike Brown, by the way. He's like, I'm joking. Tony Brown's like, you're not joking at all.
Right there.
Boy,
like,
you crazy.
Boy, I'm giving it to y'all.
Not so good. This Summer League, Ben Simmons will not be participating in the Summer League next month. Is this the right call, Scotty?
You know what? I really don't care. I don't care about Philly right now. So him missing summer league doesn't really matter to me.
Make bluntness.
That's just how it is now. That's how it's going. Like, they're protecting their guys. He's been hurt. Like,
Yeah.
So I guess he's their franchise guy. They're protecting him. So
We want to see it. We want to see what all the hype is about.
Right?
I want to see it.
We all
I
do.
mean, come on, the #1 pick, one of the most hyped players coming out of college in a while. Let's see what you got. Let's see the warm-up.
I mean, you know, he played a little bit last year. I was surprised just because I know he's been itching to play and get back out on the court. But maybe, as Vince says, they're trying to
Sometimes
protect
that's what
him.
they're doing now.
Sometimes Philly is just too protective with their players.
Right.
I mean, they can go out here and play Summer League. This is what the fans want.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, welcome back, everybody. Scotty said here, and I want to get this to you first. Jimmy Butler, Chicago Tribune, reporting that Butler had, quote, a positive meeting with Bulls management today. He has, of course, been the subject of trade rumors. This is recently on the teleprompter, but I could just say he's been the subject of trade rumors over and over and over again. Scotty, should Jimmy want to stay with the Bulls?
Yes.
All right, how
I
come?
think we all want him to stay because we're tired of seeing all the power being shifted to one or two teams in the league. So it's great that things are working out with him and the Bulls. I'd love to see him stay in the Bulls uniform and see some of the other team contend a little bit.
He had a great year, and he played with a lot of confidence. I think he understands it's his team, and I think having D. Wade there was great for him just to kind of show him the way, show him how to be the franchise player, the go-to guy, and it was great for him. So I like him staying there. You know, build your team.
I really don't know. I mean, I just don't know which direction the Bulls are going. I mean,
You and everybody in Chicago, Paul Pierce.
You got a young Jimmy Butler. You signing Wade. You bring back Rondo. You got good talent, but the team is, what, an 8th seed?
All over the place.
They were an 8th seed. So it's just like,
A lot of injuries.
what direction do you go? Do you move forward with that? And Jimmy Butler has to ask himself, is there a future here? Is there a future here? Realistically, he should be a Celtic.
And I hope that's
wait a minute.
I saw that coming. I saw that coming.
Campaigning. Let's be honest. We've got some biases here going on this set. I'm interested, though, in what you said about, hey, I want to see some of the power spread around. Are we in an era where you can win if the power is spread around? Or if you're watching the Cavs, if you're watching the Warriors, do you just want to all go get somewhere? Because it's the only way you can compete.
I think we're in an area where they can win if the talent is spread it. I think what we've seen over the last couple, 3 years is that you know, teams are now loading up with 3 great all-star players. And, you know, it's hard to watch games every night when there's not good teams on.
Except Memphis Grizzlies games, which are amazing.
I enjoy watching a 40-year-old guy play anytime. Respect to that. But
Right.
in terms of just watching basketball night in and night out, the competition is just not there with some of the teams.
Because most teams are trying to come, you know, they say, okay, who are we trying to keep up with?
Right.
You know, and of course, the 2 teams we're watching here in the finals, or who everybody's trying to keep up with, so they're trying to get whoever they can. And some teams, the teams who don't have the money, the Philadelphias of the world, they're going to miss out.
This is what you do. If you're a young team right now, you're not trying to get better right now because you got to prepare for the next 2 years of the Golden State Warriors tear.
What do
So
you mean?
you got to prepare for after that.
In other words, expect, okay.
So you have to prep your team for 3 years down the line because this team right here is going to be one of the greatest teams. So to try to compete with them, and if you're not sure you can really compete with them at a high level, you might as well wait.
Well, first of all, he doesn't have 3 years. I mean,
I don't. I don't. I don't.
You do have to like in the East what your
May have 3
Celtics
years.
are doing, though. You think?
I think
You only got to
Celtics
trick one.
at first I thought Celtics should trade the pick, but I think take the pick.
Well, I would say Markel Fultz was in
You take the
Boston
pick.
yesterday. He was spotted with Danny Ainge. It's like gossip girl up in here. And, you know, he says he only wants to work out for the Celtics. Those are the latest reports. I mean, do you feel like when you're talking about building that team, that is the match?
That's the match. I mean, I think you go with him because, like I said, you have to prepare for down the road. Because if you can't compete with the Warriors or the Cavs right now, what's the use of trying to throw all your chips in one basket?
See, this is what happened. Before the Eastern Conference Finals, Paul was like, no, mate, you're right on that level with the Cavaliers.
I had
and
to
then
think about it. I'm watching this
After he
Golden State
saw
Warriors.
play.
after he saw the Eastern Conference Finals, now he says take the pick.
Now take the pick and prep for down the line.
I think going forward that there are teams waiting now to step ahead of the Cavaliers. I mean, look at LeBron is in his 14th season, and how many more seasons can he keep this up? So I think in terms of teams in the East, it's time to make a move now. Boston didn't really fare well because of the loss of Isaiah throughout the playoffs, but I think it's time for teams to start challenging the Cleveland Cavaliers.
What move?
Well, I figured
What
the
move?
Cavaliers have.
What move is Boston going to make?
No, if you have opportunities, look, like there's rumors about Paul George, maybe Gordon
Gordon Hayward.
Hayward.
Okay.
But I'm not so sure that team still beats the Golden State Warriors or the Cavaliers.
Okay.
So
No.
let me build on. In 2 years, you figure LeBron will be a little older. In 2 years, free agency, things can happen with Golden State. And now the title and the conferences are up in the air. I'm going to say in 2 years.
Do they get rid of Isaiah?
I don't know. I don't know that.
That's what I'm saying. That's just,
No, but you, whatever you do,
but
you build
I agree with
for
you.
down the road, I think.
Because 2 years you can see what Markel's going to be,
Right.
and then you can kind
You
of
have to
decide.
decide if you want to max
So I think
Isaiah.
you keep Isaiah to kind of,
then-
mentor the young guy
Right.
and figure it out after that.
I can't believe this crowd just glossed over Scotty saying that the Cavaliers' run in the East is over, but I'm going to let y'all have this for now. We can liven up in the break.
Hey, they've been watching the same game.
You got, all right. All right, you got to be like that. Vince Carter, thank you for joining
Thanks,
us.
guys.
We will be back
Appreciate it.
tomorrow. We
Yeah.
got Dwight Howard popping on set in a minute. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to talk to us about how his season went and his take on the finals. Stay tuned.
This is a story about male empowerment.
Wonder Woman, rated PG-13, now playing.
Mystics Wings. Catch it tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Welcome back to The Jump. We are now joined by 8-time All-Star Dwight Howard. Boom. See, the people in the crowd can't see what we see, was just highlight after highlight after highlight. Now, you got to return to the Hawks, play for your hometown team. But, look, it's a crapshoot when you make that kind of decision. It's worked out for some players. It has not worked out for some players. How did it go for you? Did it go as you envisioned it?
Well, I'm happy to be home.
Yeah.
I think as an NBA player, you always want to play for your hometown team, and it's a blessing to be able to play for the Atlanta Hawks. We didn't make it as far as we wanted to, but, I think the sky's the limit for this team. And being up here with Scotty and Paul, I want to win a championship, and I want to do it at home. But like he's been talking about, the Warriors and the Cavs are They're two tough teams.
It's absolutely a tough environment for pretty much the other 28 right now. It seemed like the Hawks had one idea of what they wanted from you at the beginning of the season. Then sort of in the middle of the season, that seemed to change. And then toward the end of the season, even what they wanted from the whole team seemed to change. They traded Kyle Korver. Then they kind of changed direction again. What was that like to go through?
Well, it was a little difficult, but I think this year will be totally different for all of us. We just got a great GM who came from Golden State. So he's been a part of that winning tradition. We have a great coach who came from a winning tradition in San Antonio.
Spurs, yeah.
Dennis is really emerging as a great basketball player. Timmy has worked on his game tremendously. He's a lot better. Me and Paul are gelling, and the team is really coming together. And it takes time. You know, I know some of us are getting old, but I think we're also getting wiser. We're getting smarter as far as how to handle certain things on the floor. And I think we're going to have a really good season next year.
You're young on this set. You just took Vince Carter's spot. He was 40. You're good.
Yeah.
Look at these guys over here. You're fine. You're not getting old anytime soon.
Not getting old,
No
but
time soon. No time soon.
I want to talk about sort of the recent years, the rise of small ball, and sort of how that has changed your position dramatically. How have you felt as you've watched this go by in the league?
well, when I first came in the league, there was no big shooting threes coming down the court, crossing people up, and making shots. And when I would try that stuff in practice, they'd be like, yo, what are you doing? Like, we need you in the paint. We need you dunking the ball. We need you blocking shots. And we need you getting all the rebounds. So that was the game back then. But then now you got these guys, DeMarcus Cousins, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis. These guys are stretching the floor. And then you got Paul Gasol. He's shooting, not Powell, but Mark. Both of them really.
Yep.
They're
Carl
shooting
Anthony
threes.
Towns.
Carl Anthony Towns. You know, you got a lot of guys who can really, play away from the basket. So this summer,
You get the threes up, big
I've
fella.
been,
Get them
I've been
threes
working a
up.
lot.
All right.
I've been working so far.
Give us some info. What have you been doing and with who?
Well, I have this guy in Atlanta I've been working with.
Okay.
And I've been working on my threes, really trying to add some range to my game.
Okay.
Which is going to be weird for people to see, I guess.
Right.
They're used to seeing me in the paint battling. But in order for me to play longer, I have to expand my game. So the game is not just back to the basket, get the ball in the post and go to work. It's more you stepping away from the basket, setting the screen, popping, shooting threes and stuff like that, which is people haven't seen me do that. So it's going to be an adjustment for me, but also the fans. But I think it's going to be fun.
Back to the basket is invisible now.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, you pretty much have to shoot the three. I mean, that's the way the rules are gearing toward bigs. It's just crazy. Like he said, when he first came in the league, it wasn't none of that. Now you see pretty much 70% of the centers are shooting threes.
85.
85?
Got
Wow.
me, DeAndre.
That's about it, huh?
Dwight, I got a question.
Zaza.
I got a
Can't
question.
put Zaza in. Nah.
I got a question to ask you. As far as the way the game has evolved, and now you're catching yourself guarding a guy like Steph Curry somewhere out on the floor. How do you feel guarding guys like that? Are you comfortable guarding?
I
them
love
on the
it.
floor?
I think it's a lot of fun. With a guy like Steph, I'm like, okay, he can shoot real well, but I don't want him to get past me. So I'm going to use my length to try to bother him and make him shoot tough shots. I don't want him to get to the basket and create shots for other people. I would rather him take a tough contested shot over my arm than him get to the basket. Now you got help side coming. Now he's able to kick it. Now the whole team's in rotation, which is tough to guard.
Is it tougher now being that there's no more you come down to two bigs battling? You used to meeting the guys in the paint.
Yeah.
Now you got to meet them outside the three.
Yeah,
When you're in a pick and roll with like a Marc Gasol Towns and you sit back on the pick and roll and recover, is that like the hardest part of the game?
It
the
is.
most difficult part that's changed?
It is tough. I would say that. There was a game against Mark early this season. I'm used to guys setting the screen and rolling to the basket.
Right to the paint.
So I get up, pressure the ball. I turn around and go to the basket. Mark's over there. So by the time I turn around, he's shooting a three.
Right.
So coach is like, Dwight. I'm like, Coach. It's tough to guard, but that's the way the game is going. And it's a lot of fun because I came in guarding Shaq, Alonzo Mourning, Jermaine O'Neal, all these big guys who want to wrestle. So I'm used to wrestling.
Right.
But now I got to get used to playing against guys who are, not trying to wrestle. They want to get to that three-point line, set you up with a head fake, go to the basket, stuff like that, which is a lot of fun.
We'll get those threes up this
I
summer.
got
You got to get those threes up.
Which leads me to another question for a guy like you. Do you feel like you're being left out in today's game because of the game being so perimeter dominated?
I think we have been left out to a certain extent. Well, they took us off the ballot for the centers in the All-Star game, so we're kind of left out. But the way the game has evolved, it's really tough for traditional centers to get great playing time and be effective. So we do have to change our game. Like I said earlier, coming into the league, dribbling the ball and stuff like that, my coach was like, yo, what are you doing? But now it's like this is where the game is going. And for us to stay in this league and be successful, we got to be able to handle the basketball. We got to be able to shoot the ball, be able to play pick and roll against some of these guards. And then you got hybrids like Kevin Durant. He's taller than me.
Super hybrid.
He's taller than me, and he's playing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's fun to see where the game is growing. But for players like myself, we just have to continue to grow, unless we'll be extinct.
Change or die, right?
That's it.
There you go. All right, we will keep Dwight on set here. I do want to get to, though, tonight on ESPN, we are running Jalen versus Everybody. This is a pilot that was shot. It's got great cameos throughout. We're going to show a little clip of it here. It's on 7:30 Eastern tonight. I'll be making an appearance in it. Kobe Bryant's in it. A bunch of our ESPN talent is in it. And I think Larry Bird is in it. Can we take a look? 50% off the finals, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, ABC, and you can start with NBA Countdown at 8:30. Mr. Paul Pierce will be there. You should be there, too. Streaming live on the ESPN app. And look, guys, we've talked about it. We will continue to talk about it right until tip. Warriors up again, 2-0 on Cleveland. Is it going to be different this year? We remember what happened in Game 3 at the Q. These fans over here remembered what happened in Game 3 last year. And look, all the Warriors said the right things this year. They talked about how, I was just over at practice, they talked about how they're more focused. One thing Draymond Green said that was so interesting, he said that last year he thought that maybe they took their eye off the ball a little bit because he came out and said it was a mistake, he said, for them to go for the 73 wins. And Steph was then asked about what Draymond said, of course, and he said, look, we only fell a game short. I'm not sure he said I'm ready to say it's a mistake, but he said, yeah, maybe doing all of that and then having to reset for the postseason. We weren't what we could have been in the postseason. Do you guys trust that things are going to play out differently this year?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I mean, this is
yes, and
you got to factor in the KD factor. They're not going to have any letdowns. I know Draymond is probably in that locker room saying, man, we got to treat this like a Game 7. Because the Warriors know if they get this win right here, the series is pretty much over.
Yeah, and I have to agree with Paul. I mean, you got the KD factor now. Last season, they didn't have what I consider a go-to guy in their half court when they needed that bucket, when the shot clock's running down. Now they got KD, a guy that can handle the ball, can
so there on the screen, it's almost like KD makes a difference. add a KD to your team. It'll help out. You guys should think of that. You guys should add a KD to your team.
I love KD as a player. I love LeBron, but I want to beat these guys.
Right.
That's just my competitive spirit. And I think it's a lot of people who do want to beat them. They're just a tough team. But, just watching KD, he's just hungry. He's just hungry the way he's playing.
Are you making a statement about KD coming to Golden State?
With KD coming to Golden State?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he did right for himself.
Okay.
I mean, everybody else was probably upset that he did that, but that's that man's life.
Yeah.
That's his life. And whatever he wants to do is his life. At the end of the day, when he's done playing, he's the one that has to look in the mirror, and we can't look in the mirror for him. Yeah. So I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. He's played great basketball all year long, and this might be his reward.
Yeah.
Well,
it's working out for him thus far.
Would you consider going to Cleveland?
I'm in Atlanta right now.
Wow. Are you tampering? You're like, I can retire it. I can do whatever I want. There we go. All right. I want to thank all these guys, Vince Carter, also for stopping by. We will be back here tomorrow. See you then.